Assalamualaikum to Dr. Rosmawami binti Maknawi. With the Group 5 from Section 5, we will be presenting our Assignment 1, Web Service Comprehension and Development for the subject BIW20404 Web Technology Services. I will start this presentation with introducing my group members. The first one is Ili Izati binti Ismail, Nur Syazwani Ilya binti Rahman, myself Wan Ala Najwa binti Wan Zain, Wan Muhammad Adam bin Kamarul Zaman, and the last one is Yumni binti Abdul Aziz.
My name is Adam. I will explain for Part A Question 1. It is possible to bind SOAP and WSDL. Yes, it is possible. SOAP and WSDL can be linked together. In fact, SOAP and WSDL are frequently combined when creating web service. Web service can be readily accessed and connected with other systems without affecting the underlying technology by applying WSDL to describe the interface and SOAP to exchange the data.
As to question 2, the general structure of a SOAP XML request is depicted in Figure 1. Using the input body structure shown in Figure 2, create an appropriate structure file for the SOAP XML response. So I will explain more about the answers given here. So there are two namespace declaration, which is SOAP env and also NS2. The SOAP env namespace is used to define SOAP envelope, while the NS2 namespace is used to define the element specific to the example.com/courses namespace. So the SOAP message has two parts, which is header and body element. In header, there are no content, while the body element contains a cause response elements, which is defined in the example.com/courses. It has several child elements, which is ID. The value is course 1, which is we known as unique identifier. The next one is name, web technology security, description stand for encryption, the status and role, the venue online, and the date would be 2023-0601. Then we close all the tag that we use on the upper side of the code.
For question 3, there are three matching information. The first one is the WSDL file has to describe the XML namespace used in the SOAP envelope, so that clients may correctly decipher the written message. The SOAP namespace in this situation is http www.w3.rg 200112 SOAP-envelope. We can see in figure 3 in line 3. The second answer is so that clients may evaluate and comprehend the message structure. The XML schema or typing definition for the components used in the SOAP response should be supplied in the WSDL file. As an illustration, the WSDL file has to define the learn response elements as well as its children, integer rate and monthly value. We can see in line 6 in figure 3. The third answer is the WSDF file should provide a description of the procedure that creates the SOP response, together with any output parameters or return values. In this instance, a corresponding operation that defines the required input parameters and the format of the output message for the learn response message should be present in the WSDL file.
Assalamualaikum Dr. Rosmah. My name is Nur Syazwani and I will presenting question number 4. And the question is, what is your understanding of the SOAP fault message? Explain by way of example. And the answer is SOAP fault message is an error message that is written by a web service when an error occurs during the processing of a SOAP message. It typically consists of three parts. Number 1 is the fault code, which identifies the type of error that occurred. And number 2 is the fault string, which provides a human readable explanation of the error. And number 3 is the fault detail, which provides additional information about the error, such as a stack trace or error code. For example, let's say I am developing a web service that allows customers to check their order status. And when a customer sends a SOAP request to my web service to check the status of their order, my web service might encounter an error such as an invalid order number. In this case, my web service would generate a SOAP fault message to notify the customer of the error. For example, an error message invalid input parameter appears as SOAP fault message, which denotes a client-side issue. The problem occurred on the client side as indicated by the fault code SOAP env client.
For question 5, describe the role of UDDI in web service in detail. UDDI is Universal Description, Discovery and Integration. It is a specification that defines a way to publish and discover information about web services. The role of UDDI in web services is to provide a standardized mechanism for discovering and integrating web services. It enables service providers to publish information about their services and consumers to search for and locate the services they need. UDDI plays a vital role in interoperability of web services and is an essential component of service-oriented architecture (SOA).
For part B, question number 1, and the question is create an employee details of web service project that consists of service class name should be employee details. There should be a class employee with fields employee ID, employee name, employee age, and employee salary. And last one is it should have a method get employees. This method should return a list of employee objects. Okay, this code defines a class called employee details that we can see in line number 3, which has a method called get employees. This method returns a list of employee objects. Each employee object has 4 properties. Number 1 is employee ID, a string representing the employee ID. Number 2 is employee name, a string representing the employee name. Number 3 is employee age, an integer representing the employee's age. And employee salary, an integer representing the employee salary. As you can see, the implementation of the object in this code is in line number 5 until 8. And as you can see in line number 6, for 101 represents the employee ID, and Abu represents the employee name, and 28 represents the employee age, and 6,000 represents employee salary. So in this example, the get employees method creates a list of 3 employee objects and returns it. These employee objects have some sample data such as ID, name, age, and salary, which would be typically be retrieved from a database or some other data source in a real-world scenario. So for the conclusion is this code is a simplified example of how to define and retrieve a list of employee objects in Java and could be used as a starting point for building more complex applications that involve managing employee data.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Ismail, metric number CI210079, and I will present question 2. Based on the scenario above, assuming that one of the requester is Johor Corporate System, write down a possible SOAP response to this system. Okay. SOP envelope define how the message should be handled. SOAP body contains the actual contents of the message. The content of the message is in the body and consists of an XML element, vaccination status, with 3 child elements. First is status, indicating the vaccination status, which is fully vaccinated. Next is appointment venue, indicating the venue of the vaccination appointment, which is Persada Johor International Convention Centre. And appointment date, indicating the date of the vaccination appointment, which is 2023 05/31/31. This message is an example response from the web service that provides information about the vaccination status of a person. Next, demonstrate the possible WSDL document to describe the service. WSDL is a web service description language define the messages and the port type used in the service, as well as the target namespace and the name of the service. The code includes the target namespace for the service, which is http://example.com vaccination program, a message element for check vaccination request, which include two parts, ID number and mobile number. The element, a message element for check vaccination response, which include three parts, status, appointment venue, and appointment date. A port type element for vaccination program port type, which include an operation element called check vaccination. The check vaccination operation include a input message, which is check vaccination request, and for the output message is check vaccination response. In this code, define the structure and element of the web service that can be used to check a person's vaccination status by sending their identification number and mobile number as input and receiving a response with the status and, if available, the appointment venue and appointment date.
So for question 2C, which is write the web service by using Java. So here is the Java code snippet for a web service that provides vaccination status information. The code defines a class called Vaccination Program Service with a single public method, check vaccination, that takes two parameters, an ID number and also a mobile number. And this code will return an object of type vaccination status. So the vaccination status class is a simple Java with three private instance variable, which is status, appointment venue, and also appointment date. The check vaccination method creates a new vaccination status object. It sets the instance variable with some hard-coded values and it returns the object. So this code represents a simple web service that provides information about the vaccination status of a person identified by their ID number and mobile number. When invoked, the web service will return an object containing the status of a person's vaccination, the venue of their appointment, and also the date of their appointment.
That's all from us. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.